Welcome to this edition of Supervisor Spotlight. I'm Angie Carpenter, very happy and proud to be the supervisor of the wonderful town of Islip. And part of the reason it's so wonderful is that we have Touro School of Health Sciences and Touro Law in our town of Islip, in central Islip. And with us today, we have Dean Elena Langan, who is the Dean of the Law School, and Dean Steve Lorenzet. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That's right. Yep.
Lorenzet, who is the Dean of the School of Health Sciences. So today we're going to learn a little bit about how it all happened. I know you guys started in Bayshore, not you two personally, but our association with Touro as a town. And I would like to think from the very beginning we were very welcoming to Touro and the possibilities that it meant. And when the decision was made at the time when the building that they were in was the Suffolk County Mini Center, going back to a little bit of history, that was in the late 80s, early 90s. And the building was not necessarily an asset for the downtown community. The downtown was struggling, there were a lot of vacancies, and some of the uses in the building kind of contributed to that sense of forsakenness of the downtown. But when the idea of Touro School of Health Sciences coming there to occupy the building, the agreement was to allow the health center to stay there for a number of years, and also at the time the highway patrol. And what that did, I felt, was give a police presence to the downtown area, so that when the police reported to that location and got in their police cars and left, there was always this constant police presence. And certainly having the health center there, I thought, helped the School of Health Sciences. But it's just been such a success story in so many ways for the downtown, for the town, and certainly for Touro, that your reputation has really grown. But perhaps you guys can fill us in on a little bit of the history of Touro itself, how it all started, because it was in the city originally.
It started in Manhattan. Dr. Bernard Lander,
who I had the honor of meeting
Okay.
back in the 90s.
He started the university, it was a college at the time, Touro College, in 1970. And they had their first class start in 1971, 35 students.
Oh, wow.
In Manhattan. And Touro now has 19,000 students.
That is amazing.
Nationwide.
From 20 to 19,000.
We have 5 campuses throughout the country. We're in 5 different states. There are 8 campuses in New York State. And of course, Central Islip is, we like to consider our premier campus because Steve and I are both here. But we're the only law school for Touro, so we're here in Central Islip. The law school started in 1980. We had our first class, and we were originally in Manhattan. We moved to Huntington, and then in 2007, we built this beautiful building.
It was gorgeous. I was there for the ribbon cutting.
In Central
And the
Islip.
groundbreaking.
It's a premier location for a law school because we are right across the street from the federal courthouse, Eastern District of New York, as well as the Suffolk County Courthouse, the Central Islip branch. So it's a great learning environment for our students. They're in the courthouse their first semester, and it's invaluable for them to get that practical education, which is really what Touro Law has been known for.
And when that new building was erected, there's so much happening now. The ripple effect of it is absolutely huge. I mean, you drive down Carlton Avenue now, and then you make that right down to Eastview, and you see all that is happening there with the 2 courthouses, the minor league ballpark, the lovely law, school, and then the additional building that you've done.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And
I'll add to what Elena said about the history, and then maybe talk a little about our campus there in CI. As Elena said, in 1970, and I think some of the Jewish principles it was founded on, commitment to intellectual inquiry, tolerance, respect, serving the underserved, a lot of things that maybe are in short supply a little bit today in
Yeah.
some regards, and that the university is very committed to and has stayed true to that. And even though, and Elena's right, grew to 19,000, and I think most of that growth has been fueled by the professions. Law is a prime example of that. All the things that we do in health sciences, the School of Health Sciences, as well as our medical schools, DO and MD. And so a lot of growth over time, in particular in the professions. And then the School of Health Sciences, and Elena's right, we're very proud of the CI campus and having the original building that law has been in for quite some time. And the School of Health Sciences now occupies as well, and then we both share the new building on the campus. The School of Health Sciences is spread a little bit in the sense of it's here in Long Island. It has a significant presence in Manhattan, as well as a few other parts of New York as well. But nonetheless, we're very proud of the impact we make on the community here, the amount of people we educate here, and then they go and benefit the community. We have a PA program as well as physical therapy and occupational therapy here in Long Island, and pretty large numbers in each of those programs. And it's great for our students and school, and it's great for the community too.
And so many, particularly in law, so many of your graduates have gone on to some incredible positions. You know, that I even know of you know, people locally who went through Touro. A gentleman who is the district executive for the Southern District at Friedland. I don't know if you know him or not, but he is a graduate of Touro Law. You know, we've had town board members previous to the town board that's here now, but I know of at least one town board member who went to Touro Law School.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, Elena could speak to law certainly better than me. There's a lot of law success stories, and there's a lot of healthcare and health sciences success stories out of the alumni as well.
tell us about some of those.
Yeah, sure. They have gone into very successful and large PT practices that they have co-founded in some instances, and then turned around and been very generous with us, whether it be through scholarship or opportunities for students and clinical experiences and beyond. The PA program has had tremendous...
I was just going to, now that was very, kind of started in CI, if I remember.
It's certainly Long
Dr.
Island.
Tomasino.
That's right, Dr. Joe Tomasino.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
That, just to give you a sense for the impact on the community and our PA program, all told, just in the New York area here, we have about 460 students enrolled in the PA program.
Oh, that's enormous.
About half of them, just under, but just call it right about half of them, are here in Long Island. And then they graduate, well, while they're students, they rotate through all kinds of clinical experiences in all kinds of locations, large, medium, and small. And then many of them go to work in this local community here at places like Northwell, Catholic Health System, and beyond. And so lots of great impact on the community, and that program's a real signature.
You know, I often say how fortunate we are in the town of Islip to have two premier healthcare institutions in South Shore University and Good Samaritan Hospital, but you know, the two healthcare systems have a real footprint here, and what a wonderful feeder it has to be.
Oh, yeah.
For you know, the School of Health Sciences to have those resources available here.
It is. It's a tremendous opportunity for us from a student education perspective, the clinical part of their education, and then for their careers. And we're very fortunate to have some of the facilities you just mentioned, as well as some that I did, to have very long and strong partnerships with them.
That's awesome.
And so it's very mutually beneficial for all parties. And in the end, I think you could say that the citizens of Suffolk probably benefit the most.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a little break, and we will be back with the two deans from Touro Law and Touro Health Sciences.
You are watching ITV, Channel 18, Islip Television.
Welcome back to Supervisor Spotlight. I'm Angie Carpenter, Town Supervisor, and delighted to have with us today two deans, one from the School of Law, Touro, and that's Dean Langan, and one from the School of Health Sciences from Touro, and that's Dean Lorenzet. So we were talking about law. Let's talk health. I'm sorry. So let's talk a little bit about law and some of the career opportunities that the students that go through Touro Law can expect.
Well, we end up with a lot of judges out of the law school.
Yes,
so,
that's true. I know a few of them.
Suffolk County, we are one of the top providers for judges. Also, prosecutors. We are one of the top providers of prosecutors as well as defense counsel. We've been recognized nationally as being a top producer. We have a lot of students who go into business law. We have students who are at big law firms in the city. A lot of our students do stay on Long Island. A lot of them are from Long Island and like to stay here in some of the smaller firms or some of the larger firms, both between Suffolk and Nassau County. One of the unique features, the opportunities that we provide to students are that focus on practical education. So in the new building that is part of our campus now, we have our Public Advocacy Center. We were the first law school to develop this concept where we have nonprofit organizations who are actually housed at the law school. So our students—
The housing.
We have a housing, there's domestic violence groups, some human trafficking groups, and our students work with those individuals and develop real-world experience. By the time our students graduate, each graduating class has given about 30,000 hours of free legal services to the community, primarily in Suffolk County.
You know, I do remember when I was in the legislature, there was a resolution to assist with establishing an elder law clinic, I believe, at Touro.
Yes.
And at the time, it was Legislator Cameron Alden, who was an attorney, and felt so strongly that there was a need, and he was a real advocate for it. And Touro was very much in the forefront of making that happen.
It's still operating. It's our Senior Citizens Law Project, and any person over the age of 62 in Suffolk County is eligible for free legal services. There are no income limits as part of the legislative mandate when we received the funding, and it's been funded every year. We have 4 individuals who work in the program.
How robust is it? I mean, you say you have 4 working there. That seems like that would be a good number of attorneys to service everyone. Is there much of a waiting list if someone comes in?
No, they're not quite turning away cases yet.
Oh, that's great.
But they are at full capacity. There was talk about expanding some of the work, and we don't have the capacity to do that. But for the clients who are calling at this point, they're definitely being serviced. And that's just one of our 12 clinics that we have at the law school. We have our immigration clinic. We have our veterans clinic. I know.
Yes, I remember when that one started too. That's huge.
Suffolk County has one of the largest concentrations of veterans in the country. So
I do know that, and
very active.
The largest
clinic.
in the state.
Right. And bankruptcy, foreclosure clinic. We have a children's rights clinic. Our newest clinic is an education justice clinic, and it deals with students who are K through 12 that need IEPs, that may not be getting the services that they need. And our students have had some great success. Over the summer, they worked with an autistic child who had not been previously diagnosed, was having problems with attendance, had been kicked out of school several times. They ended up successfully having the child diagnosed, and about $500,000 worth of services are now being provided to this student. Occupational therapy, physical therapy, as well as part of an IEP.
That must be such a blessing and relief to a parent of a child with special needs that knows that they need that extra help and just can't seem to get there, to be able to come to professionals and have them advocate for them.
Our students love that particular clinic because they get such a good feeling from these, seeing these youngsters who they're able to help. They actually visit the students at their homes. They develop a relationship with the family so that they really understand what the students' issues are. It's been a very successful edition.
That, you know, sometimes, and you must hear it more than I, but I'm not an attorney, but attorneys sometimes get a little bit of a bum rap. And, you know, they're really doing wonderful work when you think about it, especially when you hear about all of these clinics and serving those various segments of the population.
And it's great because students, by doing good, also receive that practical education that they need. When they graduate, they know their way around a courtroom because they've been in the courthouse. They can do transactional work, all of these experiences that they've already had while they're in law school. I know when I graduated, the joke was always, okay, where's the courthouse? Because we had never been inside one. So we've always been known for that practical aspect of legal education. And as part of that, we also have, we're now offering 4 different types of programs that lead to the JD. We have our full-time day program. You can start that in January or in August. We have our part-time evening program, and we have a part-time day program. And our newest program, which actually is not that new anymore, we're in our 8th year, is a Sunday-only program.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's our Flex Time JD program. Students attend classes 12 Sundays each semester, and then 2 Sundays of exams. It's a 4-year part-time program, and they graduate. We've had a lot of professionals who go into that program, second careers or career enhancements. We have individuals who are in public service that have gone through the program. We have a few doctors currently enrolled in the program that want to engage in advocacy work. So it's a unique program. It appeals to a very niche market, but it's our fastest growing program on campus.
How many students do you have enrolled at any one time?
We have about 540 students in all of the programs combined. So.
And how difficult is it for someone applying? Is there a waiting list?
There usually is not a waiting list. We do have a waiting list during the admissions period, which we are still in. We do accept students up until the beginning of August for our fall start program. Students need to take the LSAT, the Law School Admissions Test. We need their transcripts. Everything is collected through the Law School Admissions Council, LSAC. We're also accepting the GRE. We found that some individuals who've been out of school for a few years are a little bit intimidated by the LSAT, but the GRE is also a good predictor of performance in law school. So we've been accepting that for several years at this point. So you need your GRE or LSAT, your undergraduate transcripts, and you apply online. Very easy, and we consider everyone for scholarships. As soon as you apply, you're automatically considered for scholarships. About 93% of our incoming students receive some form of scholarship aid.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So law school is expensive. We are very fortunate. We have a very strong cadre of supporters, a lot from Suffolk County lawyers who are graduates, some who are not, that support the work we do. And we're able to offer these scholarships to students.
Wow. It certainly is very interesting to me, especially. I just find the whole field very, very exciting. But we're going to take a little bit of a break. You're going to have to hold that.
I will.
As you can see, there's a lot to learn about Touro, and we'll be back.
You're watching ITV, Channel 18, Islip Television.
Hi, this is Angie Carpenter. Welcome back to Supervisor Spotlight, and to meet and greet and learn from Dean Langan and Dean Lorenzet. And we were kind of talking off camera because we were talking to Dean Langan, and she was telling us about the law school and talking about the various clinics, and one in particular being the clinic that addressed the children with special needs and advocating for them, getting them the services that they need. And Dean Lawrence very quickly pointed out the synergy between the two. So
Yep.
share that. I think that was great.
Yes, certainly. It really does speak to, I think, the synergy between the professions, in this case law and health. And it also speaks to the impact that Touro, through the Law Center and through the School of Health Sciences, has on the community. The autistic child that Dean Langan was referencing a moment ago, and getting services, that's a huge success story in and of itself.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, as she referenced, that student then qualifying for OT and PT programs, obviously, that we offer, very possibly the OTs and PTs that this child is getting access and help from now could have been some of our grads. And I just made reference to the fact that very likely, since it's an autistic child, they're going through some kind of behavior modification or applied behavior analysis program. And that's a program that we also offer and produce an awful lot of graduates from. So the synergies between the professions and the opportunity to help individuals in the community is such a nice strength.
And, it really kind of speaks to the vision of Dean Langan all those, 55 plus years ago or more. How many years now? You said 70?
Yeah, it was in 70, so
Yeah.
almost 55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Dr.
to
Lander.
that vision. And then, so in 2007, the law school was established. The School of Health Sciences in the town of Islip came in the 90s. When, I can't remember what year we moved from, moved from, I feel connected to Touro, I'm sorry, it's a
good. We
great
don't mind.
institution. When the move took place from Bay Shore to CI for the health school.
Oh, about 3 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's
For some reason, I thought it was longer than
yeah,
that.
it's relatively
It just
recent.
seems so perfect to be there.
Well, it actually, coming back to the synergy comment that we were just focused on, there's obvious synergies between health and law, as we were describing, and so there was the space at Central Islip, which was really nice, the space in the building, but then the space on the grounds that allowed for the brand new building, which is a beautiful
It is
state-of-the-art
lovely,
building as
lovely,
well.
really.
And it allows for a really nice campus feel among the professions, law and health, and for really nice, what we refer to as IPE or interprofessional education opportunities, including the overlap that exists at times between what goes on in the law school and what goes on in the School of Health Sciences.
And very
So-
often, I mean, you're very much available to the community and a part of the community, and I know that there are many courses or workshops that are held for attorneys. I know some of our staff has attended some of those planning seminars and getting their CPE, so it's kind of exciting to
Yeah.
see.
Elena could certainly speak to the law side of that better than me, but I will add that we do an awful lot as well in terms of continuing professional education for people in the health professions as well. And we do it on multiple campuses, but the Long Island campus is certainly one where we have a focus on that. And I'll add, we have a focus to a lot of community service efforts and activities on that campus too. So it's nice that our faculty and staff get involved. It's nice that the students get involved. So there's a lot of ways, aside from just educating the next group of healthcare professionals, that the school contributes to the community.
And it is a beautiful campus, and the building is lovely. And talking about making yourselves available to the community, the town of Islip, the entire town board, including the tax receiver and the town clerk and the town board, 2 town board members and the supervisor were elected last November, and our swearing-in ceremony was held at Touro. And in that lovely auditorium, and it was quite impressive in that Tom DiNapoli, our New York State Controller, was the MC for the event, and one of our guest speakers, in addition to the County Executive Ed Romaine, was U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer, who's been to Touro many, many times, and he reminded everyone of that. So it just, as grand as you are, and what you do in 2 incredible, realms of society, both law and health, there's still that sense of hometown and being a part of our community.
Yeah.
One of the things, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I'm going to do it anyway. One of the things that I remember being talked about, and I hope it's still on the shelf and hopefully will come to life someday, and that's the thought of dorms.
Yeah.
on the campus. I mean, I think that would be huge. I really, really do.
It would be interesting to think of at least two possibilities. One, could we have that kind of space on campus? And then the other would be, could we look at, there's so much happening right on the edge of campus right now in terms of affordable housing options. And so any and all of those kinds of things to me are a sensible part of the future for us to look at.
Yeah, oh, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I mean, Central Islip is an exciting hamlet. We've got many in our town. We have wonderful, wonderful spots. But Central Islip in particular is on the cusp of really getting there. And certainly Touro has been a part of the success story. The docks, the two courthouses, the two hotels that are undergoing major renovations now, even though they're not that old. The soccer facility, you know, down the block on DPW Drive, we have a brand new animal shelter. But further north, we were the recipients of a $10 million grant from the state of New York for a downtown revitalization initiative. So there's going to be, it's the one part of the downtown area there on Carlton that really needed some uplifting. And
it's going through such a renaissance right now.
The Eastview, you know, the Belmont at Eastview.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
incredible complex, Foxgate, even across the street on Carlton, another development is coming in that's going to have not just apartments for the general population, but also for veterans and you know those that are in the autistic community. So, I mean, it really is a very forward-thinking, exciting, you know, wonderful community with just great, great people that advocate for it, care for it, and you certainly both are very much a part of that fabric.
Yeah, it's a great place to be, and so thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, you know, it did so much for Bayshore. You know, Bayshore is thriving now, and then with your recent move in the last couple of years to CI, we're going to see that happen there. Well, we're going to have to wrap up. I can't thank you enough for being here, both of you, Dean Elena and Dean Steve, Law School and Health, and anyone interested in either of those careers, please consider Touro. Thank you for watching.